Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial for the river stones. Let's make a quick breakdown to see overall what's going on here. For the simulation we have 6 different stones with different textures or materials. I made this inside of 3ds Max. I will show you right now how I did it. And we have some kind of attraction and balance effects all made inside Tyflow. Afterwards I apply some little extra rocks flying around, and of course the floor is filled with little tiny rocks. Those are the same textures applied to different default rocks in the shapes operator inside Tyflow, and then we're just lighting and rendering. Right now we're covering how to make the simulation inside of Tyflow, and then in the second tutorial we'll cover how do I texture and apply materials to this scene. And of course you can download the project files on my Patreon, so stay tuned to Patreon and good luck with the project. Let's start. Okay, this is my actual project. This is the file you will find in Patreon, but let's start from the beginning to see what's going on. Let's start a new fresh project and let's start building the rocks. I'm going to use a geosphere. This density is enough for now, and let's apply some modifiers. For now I will use the FFD 4x4x4, and here you can play along with this. I think since this is a river stone, we should flatten it at some point from everywhere and play a bit with the shapes like this. This is the base form, so I'm going to duplicate this to make some copies, but now I'm going to play a little bit. Let's rename all of them here, and let's bring Tyflow here. In advance I know I want to arrange these rocks like in a line, so I'm going to make a line. Let's use a spline, something like this should be enough. And I want to add some points. I want 5 rocks stacked one on top of another, so I want to have control of how many points I have here. So I'm going to add a normalized spline. So let's add a normalized spline. Let's make a node count. Let's place 5 linear segments. I don't care about this right now, so let's leave it like this. Now we have 5 points, and I know I'm going to have the floor over here, so I don't want to fight with that. So let's bring this a little bit to the top like this. Let's open the Tyflow and let's add a burst spline. Here we can pick our line. It's right here. Let's try to display everything with sprites so we can see what's going on here. And you can see there's many of them. This is because by default the burst spline is in a percent along spline, but we can do this by knots. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see we have 5 particles. Right now we need to replace these particles with these shapes. So let's add the shape modifier. Here it is, and I want to select all of my rocks. Let's delete this default shape and let's add selected. Okay, now we have our 3 stones added to the shapes list. Change the display to geometry, and there they are. So maybe we can randomize a little bit more the shape seed. So here let's change something until we see different ones. Of course we're going to randomize more of all of these rocks, so we're going to add a rotation operator. Here it is. Now it's randomizing the rotation, but I think it's too much, so the interpolation, let's bring it down a little bit, just a bit like this. I think it's enough. Now let's try to randomize the scale. Here we can add the scale operator and play with the variation. Let's make it uniform and change a good percent, like 30 maybe. You can see they are changing here. Let's play a little bit more, like 50. I think this is good. But we're having another problem. Now they are very tiny. So let's go to the overall scale right here and make it bigger. It doesn't matter if they are colliding each other right now like this or intersecting themselves, because we're going to play with the animation. Okay, right now we need to add the physics operator, but they will be colliding each other. So somehow we need to animate this to reach this point so they are not colliding from the beginning. So let's see how to do this. Let's bring another scale operator and let's bring this to a tinier number, somewhere where they are not colliding. Like this, I think is enough. They will birth like this and they will be animated and grow. How can we do this? Okay, we can change the timing to continuous, so it's a continuous effect. And now we need to switch this to curve interpolation static. So they will be now switching from the scale they had before to the scale we just placed right now. But we need to do this the opposite, so the curves should be inverted like this. So this is what we want here, and they will stop. So now if we add the physics shape, you can see now they don't have any problem at the beginning. I think we can scale this faster, like in 10 frames, like this. Yes, this is enough. Okay, we of course don't need any gravity, so let's switch it off. Here in the type flow, you can access to the physics tab and you can disable the default gravity. Now, inside of the force modifier, we can find the noise. And if we add some noise, they start to behave like they are being affected for some kind of noise. I think it should be tinier, the pattern of the noise. Maybe tinier, like 10. Yeah, I think this is good. The strength also I think is okay, so let's play with this. But now what's happening? They're just moving and going around. We need them to be attracted to something. So let's bring here the custom properties and let's try to record somehow this position. We can go to the TM data and hit position and call it original orig pos. There it is. So this position is being recorded. So now we can add the find target operator after the physics shape operator and find here the point and use custom TM. And here you can change the channel to your original pos and they are trying to recover that position all the time. So now this is very interesting. You can see here they are like wobbling and dancing because they have enough space in the middle. So I think we should increase the scale of the first scale to make this like they are trying to fit in place. They are colliding. You can see this one on the top is still flying because this needs to be, of course, bigger. Let's try to make it bigger to see what happens. There it is. There it is. Now if they are bigger, they are fitting somehow each other. We can use the noise we had before and add some frequency because the frequency is trying to change the force position constantly. I think it's too fast in this place. Something like this. But now let's add something more, like a spin operator. The spin is trying to rotate constantly the shapes. Like, let's play something gigantic so you can see it better. Let's increase the animation length, like, I don't know, 400. You can see they're trying to do something, but it's not enough. We need to add more. Let's try to add more of the noise, like 1,000. Let's see. Let's try to add more of the noise, like the double. See what happened? Yes, also maybe if we reduce the find target, we can have more of an interesting effect. So let's reduce the find target to half of it, like 0.5, and let's see. They're doing something there. That's very nice. Yes, let's increase the spin. The timing of the spin, let's make it continuous. This is crazy right now, so let's bring it to to 50. Here we have something more aggressive. This is kind of interesting. You can see here it's fighting. That's very good. Okay, this is very nice. I think this is enough. Okay, right now we have a very cool effect. Of course, we know we need to use everything from the frame maybe 50. From here you can have a sweet spot. There it is. Are behaving very good. That's it. Let's save this. So now let's try to add those flying objects around. It shouldn't be complex, but we need to collide those elements, those new particles, with these particles. So let's leave this simulation apart and let's bring a new type flow. Okay, we need to birth these particles on the surface of these rocks. And so let's make a birth operator here. I don't need this start and end, so I just need 100 particles and I need them to be on the surface of my rocks. So I will add the position object operator here, and I want to select the position object, but if we pick the first type flow, it's not selecting anything. We can't do it because we don't have yet a mesh operator. This is just a type flow representation inside of type flow. So we need to add the mesh. So the mesh is exposed somehow to the 3ds Max world. Right now this operator is only applied in the render process only, so we can't add yet this. But if we turn it off, right now there is change because they are inside the 3ds Max environment somehow. So now we can pick this, and now we are spawning particles on our surface. Let's check it out. Let's right, you can see they are over there. So let's go to the frame 0 to see what's really going on. They are being spawned right on the surface, and it would be very healthy if we push a little bit off the surface these particles, just in case. So here in the position object faces, we can do surface offset, and the minimum value you can increase it so they are a little bit apart. Also, you can avoid some collisions from each other if you use the separation. And here you can set a number and they'll try to be separated. I think this is enough. Let's switch the display to geometry and bring a shape operator. And already here in the 3D presets, we can have pebbles. These pebbles are really interesting for this effect. You can see they are all the same. So we need to randomize a little bit more this. So just place the rotation operator, and they are random. And also we need to add the scale operator and randomize a little bit more the size. Right now I'm going to randomize it in 50%. So this is very good. Let's save and let's play with the motion, because now they are not colliding and doing anything. So let's apply a particle physics right after the shape operator. We can bring this to the top so it's cleaner, because everything of those values are inherited. And also we need to apply the collision operator and select our first type flow. Now they are being affected, and this is very good. So we need to add some kind of air or random movement. So let's bring again the noise effect inside of the force, like here, and let's play with the noise a little bit. Here you can see they are moving, that's good, and colliding. This is very good, but of course we need them to be like trying to find the rocks again. So let's play the find target operator again, and let's select our rocks. So they will be trying to recover positions. Try to go to the closest position. So let's play more with the force operator. Let's double it and the find target. Let's check it out. Yeah, the noise is breaking them. but not too much. The collision, I want to bring down the friction so they are not that sticky to the rocks. They keep the movement all the time. And I want the fine target to be less powerful. Again, half of it. And now, yeah, the second problem we're having is we need to randomize the noise again. Let's randomize the noise. Well, we need to add some frequency of the noise. So now they are, yes, they're fighting better. Let's randomize them more. Let's add more frequency here, and you can see they are doing some crazy movements. Okay, and let's bring down again more of the fine target. Yeah, half of it, 25. Okay, there's a point where you can feel this is happening somehow how you want it. I would like some more of the noise. There it is. It's too much. Let's bring it to 3. Better maybe. Okay, so they are being pushed and they are trying to find the rocks, and at the same time they are flying away. This is very good. I want to increase the size and maybe double it like this so we can see it better. There it is. Okay, this is more or less what I want. You can see they are trespassing the floor here. Which property I have to select those particles? Well, the Z value is giving me an opportunity to do this. There is this property test. The property test is a test. If the particle passes the test, go to the next event. So right now we need a property test, and I'm going to apply a test based on position Z. But we can't see anything because we need to add something to see, like a display. So I'm going to use this event as a result with the display and a very good color to watch this, like a orange one. Yes, now they are all being tested, and just these ones are passing the test, but not this on the top, because this is being controlled by this number, this value 100. If we decrease the number, you can see the less of them are passing the test. So we just need to find the ones are passing the test. So this property test, let's play with it until we have top half of the first rock. Why I'm choosing this? Because if they start from below the half of the rock, if the rock pushes down, we'll be compressing the particles against the floor and they will be trespassing the floor. So right now we should have a very solid work here. If they reach the floor, they collide with the floor and everything is very good. So let's save this and let's see what else we can do here. Okay, now we have the stones, the particles. Of course, if we want to render these little particles, we also need to add a mesh modifier here, and we can we don't need to send them to another event or use it, so we can keep it like instance. And in this type flow number 2, we can add the interface. I'm using Redshift, but I think for Blu-ray you also need to add this enable particle interface, so you can render it with every channel and everything. So I think this is enough. Let's go to the second phase. We need to have a floor filled with rocks, and let's see how we can do this. Let's find a plane and use something like this. I would like to have some kind of noise on this plane, so I will cut this into 100. I think this is enough. Maybe another one, turbo smooth. And we need to add some noise to this. Let's do something like this. I think this is very good. It's enough for me. But we need to, I don't want this to be affecting the middle. I just want this kind of pumps just appear in a radius. So for that, I'm going to turn off the noise and I'm going to place a tie select modifier. In this tie select, by default, they are selecting the middle one. Let's change the gizmo, to a sphere like this, and let's add a soft selection so we have more of this. And yeah, if we invert the selection, you have the opposite selection. And now if we turn on the noise, you can see it's affecting only the selected parts. Now to not see all of this, let's add a mesh select. It's very light, and we have everything with the noise excluding the middle part. Right now this is more or less what I want. Let's add some little rocks to the surface. So let's add a third tie flow. After this I used to rename everything, but this third tie flow will be for the rocks. Let's give birth to particles, and I don't need the end, just like I don't know, 20,000 particles, and a position object. Here select the plane, you can see a lot of particles going on there. Let's change the dots to sprites so you can see better what's going on. Also, let's increase the scale with the scale modifier. It's the same formula again and again, so at some point you get used to this. Let's bring 400, make it uniform, different shapes, something like this. And okay, right now you will see you have very far away particles and also closer ones. We need to add the double maybe, or I don't know, a lot of particles. And let's play with the separation. Here in the separation, this is too much, but maybe something tinier like this, or 2. I want them to be close but not intersecting. Maybe 25. Yeah, this is very even for me. Also for this point of view should be enough. So let's bring the mesh operator and select again these pebbles. Yes, and in the display let's see the geometry. Now we have some pebbles here. They look really interesting. They're really cute, but we need more of them. So let's double it, like 200,000 particles. Yeah, now we have more. From this point of view, it should be good. I think the separation is too high. So let's lower it down to, I don't know, 20. Let's bring it down to something like this. Yeah, that's better. Yes, this is more or less the effect. I randomized the material just by adding a material ID, and here you can randomize many things. You can use a frequency or a random value from minimum or maximum, and of course you can do this applying a multi-sub-object material. You can add material 1, material 2, material 3, 4, 5, and then apply it to the tie flow, and it will be randomizing every material to these rocks. For these bigger rocks on the surface, you can use the same event. Let's turn it off, copy it, paste it, and of course use less, like 20 maybe. Let's turn it on. They should be over there. Yeah, they are here. The scale should be very, very, very big, like 1,000 maybe, something like this. Now they are placed on the surface in a very nice way. I know this is going to be more or less like this. This rock is bothering me here, so let's change the position seed, something like this. That's more or less the effect. Of course, I would like to use the same rocks, so I can go to the shape operator, delete these basic shapes, and use mines, like add selected, and now this is using my rocks. It's gigantic because my rocks are bigger, so let's bring down again this to 100. Yes, that are being placed in a very nice shape. You can offset, remember, the surface here, giving a minimum of more or less that set. But that's the solution for the other rocks. Let's play with more of them, like 40. There it is. So this is how I did this effect. If you add a camera, Control C for a camera. Place it here, cam. Delete the target and let's increase the millimeter value like 185, and now you can have a more cinematic shot. Okay, this is the end of this tutorial. Remember, we have the second part always in Patreon and the project files. If you like this content and you want to see more of these cool tutorials in 3ds Max, I will be posting weekly more of this, so stay tuned to YouTube and leave me your comment if you need to say something. I will be replying as soon as I can, and let's be in touch. Happy learning, bye.